Redwood is a made-in-Canada clothing line that's struggling to compete against cheaper offshore suppliers.
Who's not doing their job? Do you understand this has now created a big problem? Business isn't booming, and I'm feeling a bit of pressure here.
Redwood was created to provide a steady source of revenue for a family-owned textile factory in suburban Toronto. At its peak, the factory was doing over $10 million in sales a year. But competition from cheap labor overseas and a high Canadian dollar has decimated the business.
When China joined the WTO, the writing was on the wall. Maybe 90% of the factories were gone in the past 10 years, if not more.
The factory is run by Chek Wai Cheng, a Chinese immigrant who came to Canada over 30 years ago.
He's the numbers guy. I'm just the person that likes to spend money. I would say if we do a crew neck, we do a crew neck in the women's like this.
Redwood is jointly owned by Chek and his daughter Kathy, but she runs the day-to-day operations. She wants Redwood to focus on promotional apparel for corporate clients. But Kathy's inexperienced, and she's gotten into a business she doesn't understand.
The promotional products world would... You know what? I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to ask on that. I don't even know how to define it. I'm still trying to figure it out.
The harsh reality is that most customers aren't willing to pay a premium for made-in-Canada clothing.
The complaint we always get was, you were really expensive. Well, yes, if you're comparing me to a $1 t-shirt, yes, my t-shirt is a bit more expensive.
Now Redwood is stumbling, and the factory isn't profiting from it the way Kathy and her father had hoped.
In reality, it's not something that I can see a bright future.
If Kathy can't grow Redwood's sales, it could be the end of Redwood and lights out on one of the last textile factories in Canada.
If Redwood doesn't increase their sales and create more of a brand awareness now, I would have to lay workers off. There's a few people, this was their first job when they ever arrived in Canada, and they've been with us for over 20 years. And the heart and soul of the factory are the people.
You know, I'm looking at their financials here, and it's a pretty dismal picture, but if they can get people to understand the premium quality and get them to be willing to pay a premium price, I think these guys actually have a big opportunity.
Oh my gosh, Arlene.
Hi, Kathy. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. Yeah. And is this a big decision shirt?
This is a big decision shirt.
Fantastic. I love it.
So this is actually the production floor for the cutting department. Yep. Everything that we do is just like the old school days, and it's constructed by hand.
I can tell you as I'm feeling it, it's really well made. It's something that I would pick up and feel like you were getting great value.
A t-shirt is not just a t-shirt when we produce it.
Right. I keep being so impressed by the quality of the fabric that I'm feeling. I don't think you talk enough about your advantages. I clearly see an opportunity based on the types of things they're doing and how they're approaching their business. Now, I've got to find out, why are they not more successful? What's going on in the business that I'm not seeing in the factory? I hope I'm not going to offend anybody, but I'm going to talk about the catalog. Was this done by your team?
It was done mostly by me.
So I will tell you what I saw when I first saw this, and I'm going to be brutally honest. There's no face to this brand. There's a bunch of disembodied people, right?
That was due to our resources. Going through an agency for modeling, if I used their face, it wasn't part of my contract. I couldn't afford it.
You can tell this has been photoshopped significantly on the front. It looks like she's got a makeup line here, but actually what happens is it looks like she's actually got facial hair there as a result of that, right?
You can't tell me that you're serious about building a great brand and then show me marketing materials that are done poorly. Why isn't Kathy paying more attention to the marketing of her company?
Like, do you mind me asking what percentage of the company you own?
I don't do too much with the financials. I'm very weak with numbers, and I know what I'm weak at, and that's why I look at my dad. I think we're a perfect partner.
Kathy didn't know her numbers, but I did. She's doing $1.5 million in sales. Now that may seem like a lot, but when you factor in the costs against those sales, she's actually a drag on her dad's factory.
Would it surprise you if I said to you, the bottom line on these numbers, is one small mistake and you have no bottom line.
Kathy's grasp of her business is very telling. No wonder this business is struggling. The real question I have now is Kathy the right person to fix this?
What do you want from me?
Guidance, marketing and branding. Am I doing the right thing?
Do you want cash as part of this? Are you looking for some capital?
I do need both, actually.
Kathy's asked me for some guidance and some mentoring, along with $350,000, so that they could become a major player in the corporate apparel business. My big concern is this: are Kathy and her dad in way over their heads?
I believe if you're not able to help me and you say no, then other larger competitors may eat me up. I'm investing in a lot of time and effort into building Redwood Classics, and I know that money doesn't grow on trees.
Are you at all nervous thinking about making me a $200,000 pair of boots?
This could be you and your family business.
Redwood wants $350,000 to become a bigger player in the corporate apparel market. But Kathy's grasp of the business is questionable at best.
I thought this might be an appropriate place for us to have a conversation.
This used to be a family-run business. The company made labels and tags. They were in business for 14 years, and now they're gone. This could be you and your family business sooner than you think.
You know, I probably am being a little bit cruel by bringing Kathy here, but I wanted to make a point.
I'm not sure you have it in you to be the business person I need you to be in order for me to help you. Let's start with sales.
Yes.
Kathy, at the end of the day, nothing matters if you don't sell product. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in an expert. Whatever she tells you to do in terms of change, I need you to do it. The next thing you did is you showed me all your marketing materials and you showed me your brochure.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there that's selling to anybody. You need to change it.
A new brochure may not seem like a big deal, but in this case, how they present themselves to people who want to buy from them is so important.
You want to be a business person? Then start acting like one. That's when I will think about making a decision to invest with you.
I knew it. It's just having someone to kick me in the butt to say, you know what, this is what you have to do.
Consider yourself officially kicked.
Got it.
I like Kathy. I like Redwood. I also like my cash. And I want it to be somewhere safe with people I can trust. They're going to work hard and do everything they can do.
Leading experts in the retail clothing industry. She served as president of Reitman's, Aldo, and La Senza.
I look at it as a very commercial enterprise. You know, how can I make the business better 1.5 times, 2 times?
Redwood is focused on corporate apparel, and that's a small market. So I asked Joanne to help Kathy break into the retail market.
I don't think that you have a business in the promotional part of the business. I think it's a really tough business. I think it can be a cutthroat price business. I think you really need to be in retail.
When she said we should be in retail, you know what? I wouldn't say it in front of her, but I beg to differ. If we can be a market leader in the niche market, then we're fairly happy.
But do you want to build a business?
I definitely do.
Okay, you're not going to build a huge business on this kind of product. I work for all the major retailers in Canada and in the United States, so I think I understand this business a little bit more than Kathy does. I'm trying to give you some advice here. I think you really need to try to sell to major retailers. Okay? And I have a gift for you. I've set up for later today, we have the Sears executives.
Oh.
Okay? Who are going to be ready to look at your line. Very few people get a chance to have all the Sears executives at one time.
Wow.
Okay? And we got to get ready. They've made a special effort to meet Kathy. I mean, there's a lot resting on her shoulders. What else do we have in t-shirts?
I'm excited for this opportunity. I'm just a bit hesitant because I'm perhaps not the best person to do a song and dance.
If Kathy plays her cards right, this could be $1 million contract over the next year.
This could be quite big.
Redwood clothing can be delivered to a retailer 6 weeks faster than an overseas supplier. That's got Sears' attention.
We're the largest department store in the country, and we have the largest apparel business in the country for men, women, and children. We've had companies that were very small, and we do tens of millions of dollars with them. This is right and right for our customers. There's huge potential for Kathy here.
A deal with Sears could create double-digit growth for her business overnight. But first, she has to impress the Sears executive team.
My first impression when I saw everyone sitting around the table was, OMG, where do I start? I'm here to present to you Redwood Classics. I'm very nervous because I'm not used to really presenting in this nature. People think we're crazy and people say we're expensive, but there's got to be a niche market, or else why is this end user calling us?
We're certainly used to a much stronger sales pitch, from most of the people we deal with.
Like even this here, I've brought, this is what we call our Heritage Collection. Heritage Collection we most recently developed, I'd say about 4 months ago. I was really nervous. However, once we started talking about product, I was a lot more comfortable. It has a story behind it, and that's again why we hand circle every neck label. And I think that's a great story. Being able to deliver on time is really, really important. We can deliver quick turnaround.
Clearly we can see from the merchandise on the table that you make a quality product.
So Kathy,
Yes.
We're aligned on certain things. So speed is more important than cost. What we'd love to do is come out and really take a look at it.
The Sears executives are interested in Kathy's Made in Canada pitch. They're toying with the idea of doing a pilot program with Redwood. But first, they want to see Kathy's factory in person.
So we're going to see you next week.
Yes.
Tour the factory.
Yes.
Will Kathy get an order from us? There's a lot of things that we require in order to make sure that what we're giving to our customers is exactly what we promise. Can Kathy pull that off?
I challenged Kathy to work on some new marketing materials. Unfortunately, her and her dad are set in some pretty old school ways of doing business.
The margin of our business is so tight, you just can't afford to risk a marketing campaign.
I don't disagree.
Because we really don't know how well it will work or it won't work.
No, I know.
The bottom line is that any new marketing material isn't going to materialize in time for the factory tour with Sears executives.
Hi, George.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for coming.
The purpose of the offsite meeting, it's really about fit at this point. It's whether, Kathy can fit in with our needs and our objectives.
And you'll see here, this is our in-house dye house facility. Our competitive advantage is that we're able to turn around things really quickly. At any given time, we can have anywhere between 100 to 150 styles on the floor. Is there a potential deal to be had? I would hope so. That would be a dream.
This next meeting with Sears is make or break time. If she blows this opportunity, there is no second chance. Not with Sears, and certainly not with me.
Okay, so we're actually interested in the boat neck piece, yeah.
In this piece?
Yeah.
It is a French terry, but if you want it to in the fleece, that is doable.
Show Kevin the
The tour is a success, but when the Sears executives ask to see more products, Redwood's brochure rears its ugly head.
I don't feel it when I'm reading through this. It looks dated.
I never had to advertise or market it.
I think all we're saying is there's another level you can take it to now if you want to build a brand.
It was very interesting to get the feedback from the Sears team, but I believe that ultimately comes down to cost.
Listen, if this had come to us in the mail,
No.
chances are there wouldn't have been a second meeting.
No.
What we have here is an opportunity. Every meeting we attend, every meeting we call doesn't end in success.
No.
The risk is that there's a premium price paid versus having it produced overseas.
I need to know whether or not you are living up to this challenge.
A deal with Sears could give Redwood the anchor client it needs to thrive.
We've had relatively small Canadian manufacturers, and now they are gigantic. Some of them are in the hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide now. It is not impossible to think that Kathy could be looking at orders in the hundreds of thousands of units come 2013 from us.
Knock, knock.
Hey, Kathy.
Hi, Stephen.
Come on in.
Kathy's about to find out if she's in Sears' plans or not.
First of all, thank you so much for your hospitality. So the team enjoyed your first pitch. They enjoyed coming to the factory.
Okay.
And we made a couple decisions. The original pitch was for Redwood Classics. So we don't want to go forward with Redwood Classics. Obviously, the risk is that it's, there's a premium price paid versus having it produced overseas. We want to test Heritage
Collection label.
the Heritage Collection label. And the team really thought there's much more there to Heritage.
Okay.
Made in Canada, the intrinsic value of your family.
Right.
We thought there was a lot there.
Okay.
What we're going to do is bring in 3,000 units each of men's and women's.
Oh, wow.
So we've made a deal. We're going to put it in front of the customer in our biggest stores in Ontario.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So now it really comes down to the customer. So we think there's something there.
What this possibly means is that we'll have a great revenue source for the company.
Kathy made a great deal with Sears, and potentially it could change the future of Redwood. But for some reason, Kathy doesn't seem to be very thrilled about it.
I'm cautiously confident.
I wonder how many manufacturers out there would be jumping up and down screaming hallelujah. You should be peeing your pants happy, man.
Can a made-in-Canada clothing line succeed? Absolutely. Good quality does stand for something. I love the business. I think the idea is right. But at the end of the day, I'm not just investing in an idea here. I have to think about whether it's the team I can invest in as well.
I'm nervous to have Arlene back. There's been a lot of changes since she's last been here, this one being the biggest change.
Congratulations!
So lots happened, and
How
this
exciting.
has kind of grown really tremendously.
Oh, that's so exciting. When's it due?
End of January.
End of January, so yeah.
You've been incredibly busy.
Yes.
So let's start with Sears. I was able to get Sears in front of you.
As a result of that, there is now an opportunity with Heritage Collection by Redwood Classics, and they're going to do a test program with us. We are excited, but I think we're also very cautiously optimistic.
They looked at your catalog. They said exactly what I said, which is, had I seen this as a sales tool, I never would have had a conversation with you, right?
Yeah.
We know your marketing in general and your branding process needs help, but the immediate need you had was sales material, right? Need to know whether or not you are living up to this challenge. Are you prepared, Kathy, to invest in marketing dollars and doing it right?
Marketing is very much an intangible cost.
Marketing is an investment. It's not a spend. It's foundational, just like your machines are. It's about marketing your brand so that people like Sears or whoever else out there that are major retailers go, wow, I want to do business with them. Marketing to me is the crux of everything that happens in a business. It's all about doing something so you can take it to market. I have to tell you that I'm not going to invest. Marketing to me is a very tangible thing. I feel it's incredibly important that that investment be made and it be made on a regular basis. It's a great business, Kathy. There's a lot of opportunity here. There are people out there that want to do business with you, but you need to change the way you are doing business. And what I sense from you is you're still following your dad's path, not a dream that you wanted to build when you started Redwood, right?